Portrait of George Rublee. Upon his appointment to the Federal Trade Commission, George Rublee, 1868–1957, was a public-spirited U.S. lawyer who involved himself with state and national political reform during the Progressive Era, 1910–1918, and with international affairs from 1917 to 1945. After serving as assistant to Wall Street Corporation lawyer Victor Morawetz in the 1890s and early 1900s, Rublee entered public life when he became political advisor to Governor Robert P. Rublee then served as advisor to Theodore Roosevelt on political economic matters in the 1912 presidential campaign and as advisor to President Woodrow Wilson on antitrust reform beginning in 1914. Rublee was the primary force behind the establishment of the Federal Trade Commission, upon which he served by recess appointment from 1915 to 1917. Representative to the London-based Allied Maritime Transport Council, AMTC, in 1917, where Rublee became an ardent internationalist while serving with Jean Monnet and James Arthur Salter on the AMTC. Rublee became a founding partner in the Covington and Burling law firm, Washington, D.C., in 1920 but returned to international affairs in 1927 when he became advisor to Ambassador Dwight Morrow in his mission to Mexico. Delegation to the London Naval Conference in 1930, where he worked to promote U.S. cooperation with the Versailles Treaty security system, and he was involved in several Latin American diplomatic missions during the 1930s. His public work climaxed in 1938 when Franklin Roosevelt requested Rublee become director of the London-based Intergovernmental Committee on Political Refugees coming from Germany, which attempted to arrange for the resettlement of German and Austrian Jews prior to the outbreak of World War II. Rublee divided his time between residences in Washington, New York City, and Cornish, New Hampshire, where he had a house in the artist and intellectual community that grew up around sculptor Augusta St. Gaudens's workshop at the close of the 19th century. A genuine humanist and progressive thinker, Rublee sought to help find and implement solutions to pressing problems of his day. He was married to Juliet Barrett, a suffragist whose papers are maintained by Smith College.